couple more people. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I am Principal Sarah Barlow, and I'm happy to be here with you for a moment to kickstart this exciting night. I am so grateful for our wonderful counseling department, for our assistant principals in the secondary school, and for Director Nick Hewlett, who have been instrumental in setting up tonight so that we could support our students and that we can support you as parents. We are really excited as we look forward to next year, to the different opportunities that we are looking forward to having with our students of the class of 2025. I just want to speak quickly to what are some commitments that we are looking forward to with next year. AMPLIS Academy is dedicated to a comprehensive experience in a choice school world. So we've been long able to promise some excellent character development programs and that promote our students in being honorable and distinguished and esteemed, and that is not going to change. In fact, if anything, in these hard times, we've actually been able to set the groundwork to strengthen our foundation for leadership, for college credit opportunities, with school spirit, our student activities, and even in sports. And we are really looking forward to the opportunities we will have to continue to spend time with our 8th grade students as they move into high school. High school is an exciting time, and as we start to embark on a new era of what high school looks like, we understand that you as families have big choices to be able to make, and that we all want to make sure that we're examining what high school is all about, and that's what tonight is for. So I'm grateful again for our counselors and for their presentation they have prepared for us. It's a shift. They've been in secondary classes in 7th and 8th grade for a while, but high school is a bit of a different situation. So I'm excited for the class of 2025 that we'll have this chance to talk through things. And as always, we're here to answer your questions and address some of the things that we are planning on making sure are part of our program for next year. So thank you again for being here. We know there's a lot of things going on, so we're grateful to see you. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to our wonderful counselors. And I believe Ms. Tanya Lisa Smythe is up first.
Mrs. Smythe, you're still
you're muted.
I think we can unmute from our end, Mrs. Smythe. We're gonna look at and get it for you.
Okay, thank you. All right, is everybody able to hear me now? All right. Good evening to our parents and students. We are excited to welcome you to our school and to hear about our freshman academic night. First, I'd like to present our administrators. We have an amazing staff that will help guide our school. Many of you are very familiar with their faces. First, we have Miss Rachel Hewlett. She's the interim managing director. Mrs. Sarah Barlow, our secondary principal. Mr. Nick Hewlett, he's the director of student support. Mrs. Lisa Cates, secondary assistant principal. Miss Vivian Gardner, secondary assistant principal, and Mr. Tyrell Cooper, who's our athletic director. We have 2 counselors for the secondary students. Miss Angie Sanchez will assist students with the last names A through L. And my name is Tanya Lisa Smythe, and I work with students with the last names M through Z.
Mrs. Smythe, let's have Mrs. Garner just change the slides for us. We're still on the main slide.
Oh, okay. See, I don't see that part.
So there we go. Okay, so now we've gone through the administrators, Mrs. Hewlett, Mrs. Barlow, and here are, yes, that's Mrs. Smythe and myself. Okay, so that was the counselor slide, and Mrs. Smythe, go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. For some reason, I'm not seeing what you guys are seeing on my screen. All right, thank you. Next, we want to talk about what are some of the unique qualities of AMPLIS. One is our students started in elementary school focusing on character development, and that continues all the way through high school. In a few moments, Ms. Sanchez will talk about what the students are going to study in each grade level. We also follow a classic education model, which means students are going to be continuing to study grammar, logic, and rhetoric, and focusing on Latin as their foreign language. Our curriculum is focused depending on the needs of each student, meaning that some students are going to have acceleration and other students might need remediation, and that will be provided. Our instructors will use the data that they receive in their classes on the maps using map scores and students' test scores to design their curriculum and instruction to help students master the material. We also offer reduced class sizes and small groups. Next, we want to talk about what does it take to be successful at AMPLIS. We want to encourage our students to find their passions, to select maybe a few activities that they really enjoy and create a meaningful impact. So not necessarily that they need to be in 5 different clubs. We want them to pick a few things that they really like and make an impact with those activities or clubs. We also want them to learn for growth, not just a GPA, and this is a hard one because I know as a student, I was focused on that GPA too, but we want them to really become lifelong learners and enjoy the process. We want to encourage our students to work on time management, where maybe they learned how to utilize their planner more, create study sessions, reach out also to people in their community. What a wonderful experience it can be, and our students really seem to have meaningful relationships with community members when they volunteer. But it also gives them an excellent opportunity to learn about the community and to see maybe if that's a career path or something that they might want to study in college. So there's a lot of benefits, not only for the community members, but also for the students themselves. We would like them to utilize the resources that they have. Their parents went to high school as well, so we're encouraging them to speak to their parents. We'd like them to reach out to their teachers as soon as they feel like they're struggling in a class or they need a little extra help. Please don't wait. Reach out to those teachers right away. Come see us, contact your counselors. We're right upstairs on the 2nd floor, so you'll be able to find us easily, and talk to your counselors as well. We would like you to take care of your health, prioritize your health. So whether it's, this is a hard one because I know in high school, sometimes we don't always eat the best or sleep well, but take care of yourself, go to bed on time. And the last one is to create your own list of what does it take for you to be successful. We're all unique individuals, and many of us have different needs than somebody else might. So we'd like you to just take care of yourself, please. Okay, now it seems like I know we're rushing through, but as you're starting, you're just leaving 8th grade, starting high school, and here I'm going to show you what do you need to do to graduate. And we want to talk about graduation so that you can start planning all the things that you're going to be working on while you're in high school. We offer 3 different diplomas that line up with the Nevada State Department of Education. We first have the standard diploma, which is 23 credits. This diploma does not have a GPA requirement. Students need to complete 4 years minimum of English, which means you're going to pass English every year. 3 years minimum of math. We're going to have you take math all years of high school, but you must pass at least 3 to graduate. 2 years of science, world history. You'll also take human geography. And if you notice the asterisk there, because one of the classes in human geography or world history will bucket down. And when I say that, meaning it's going to go into the college flex credit category. US history, you'll take US government with economics. There's a section of it within the class. 2 years of physical education. And if you play a sport in high school and you finish the season, you can have 1 year of PE waived. You need to take half a credit of health, half a credit of computers. You're going to have 2 college and career flex credits. The flex credits are going to be anything additional that you take in the minimum requirements of math, science, social studies, or a 3rd or 4th year of a CTE class. And I'll explain what a CTE class is in a moment. Then you're going to complete your elective credits, minimum of 6, for a total of 23. And you're going to take the ACT exam. You'll do that your junior year at Amplis Academy. So everybody will test together, and our school also will pay for your test for the first time. If you want to repeat the exam, then you register on your own, and you will pay for it if you take it again. Next diploma is the advanced diploma. This diploma requires a 3.25 unweighted GPA, and it requires 24 credits. So for this diploma, you would need 4 years of English, 4 years minimum of math, 3 years of science, world history, and human geography. For this diploma, one of those classes will come down to the arts and humanities requirement or CTE requirement section, US history, world geography with economics, 2 years of PE, and again, if you play a sport, you could have 1 year waived, half a credit of health, computers, half a credit, your arts and humanities, electives, which will be 6 credits of electives for a total of 24, and again, you're going to be taking your ACT exam. Next, we're going to talk about the college and career ready diploma. This diploma, you need a 3.25 weighted or unweighted GPA, and you also will be taking the ACT, as you do for all of the diplomas. It's required that you take the ACT to graduate from a Nevada high school. Okay. For this diploma, you're going to meet all of the requirements that I just described earlier with the advanced diploma, besides the 3.25 weighted or unweighted GPA. Then you need a few additional things. You need to be proficient in a second world language or earn 2 credits in one of the following areas. So you either need to take an advanced placement course, 2 credits, or a dual credit class, 2 credits, 2 CTE, technical education courses, or 2 world language courses. And you must earn 1 or both of the following. So for the next section, you don't have to do all of this. You have to do 1 or both. So when I mentioned to you earlier that you're going to be taking the ACT, would you want to receive a score of an 18 in English and a 22 in math? If you'll notice, I also have listed the SAT because some of our students will take the SAT on their own, and as long as they send the scores back to our school, which we will inform them how to do that, they would need a 480 in reading and a 530 in math. Or they can earn a career ready endorsement. And to receive a career ready endorsement, they could take the ACT National Career Readiness Certificate and earn a score of a silver. They could take the Armed Service Vocational Aptitude Battery, which we refer to as the ASVAB, and receive a score of a 50 or higher. They could obtain a credential by one of our industries, such as some students would earn, let's say, a certificate in CPR. And like I mentioned earlier, have the weighted or unweighted GPA of a 3.25. Now this is pretty exciting. We have proposed, our administration has proposed a list of dual credit and CTE classes that they want to offer at AMPLIS. So this is what they're working on right now. We have a long list here of dual credit courses, and dual credit means that students can earn credit for college and also for high school at the same time. So they'll be taking the classes just like they would if they were in a college level course. So let's look at one of the courses here. Let's say Communication 101 and Communication 102. They would take that in a semester 101 and the second semester take 102. Or English 101 and then English 102. And if you go through this list, there's 14 classes listed. So every class times 3 credits would be 42 credits if a student wanted to take every class that we were going to offer. For a university, if you were going to take this at the university level, this would cost a student $11,340. But the wonderful thing is by taking it at AMPLIS, they would save a lot of money, which is huge, and the student would end up paying $1,057. So they would save over $10,000. So we are going to encourage our students, if they're capable and if they're interested, to take some of the dual credit courses. And they don't have to take all of them. They'll be able to select. We're also proposing CTE courses. CTE courses are career and technical education courses, which means that the students are going to learn a skill or trade that they're able to carry on with them. The CTE classes that we're going to offer are computer science, theater technology, and business and marketing. Next, I'm going to explain what is a weighted GPA. So as many of you know, when you're looking at a transcript, you'll receive, if you have an A, you receive 4 points. If you have a B on your transcript, you'll receive 3 points. A C is 2 points. A D is 1, and an F is 0. Now, we do not have a cap on our GPA for weighted GPA. If a student is taking an honors class, they'll receive an additional 0.025 points. And if they're taking an AP course, they'll receive a 0.05 added to their unweighted GPA.
Okay, Mrs. Smith,
Yes.
for a second. I feel like we're on the wrong slide. So Mrs. Garner is going to go back.
Okay.
And go back to our GPA slide. There we go. Okay, so this is what Mrs. Smythe was talking about, unweighted versus weighted GPA. So we'll just hang there for a moment.
Okay.
Everybody can see what you were discussing.
Mm-hmm. Would you like me to review that portion again?
That would be great. Thank you.
All right. So for the unweighted GPA, students receive points for each letter grade. An A is 4 points, B is 3, a C is 2, D 1, and an F is 0. For the weighted GPA, the students receive additional points added to the unweighted GPA. There is not a cap on the weighted GPA. Therefore, students will earn additional points. If they have an honors class that they're taking, they'll receive 0.025 points added each semester. And if they're taking an AP course, which is an advanced placement course, they'll receive a 0.05 points added to their grade point average. Okay, next, the counselors create a 4-year academic plan with each student. To create this plan, we meet with our students twice a year. We're going to meet with them once in the fall and once in the spring. So continuously we're updating this plan and working on it. And the reason we don't do it all at once is because we want to see what are the students learning, how are they progressing in their classes and academics. We want their teachers give us input also as we're creating their plan by how they're doing in their courses. But we use this to help us guide the students, and also parents, we will be able to look at their plan as well. Okay. Next, I would like to introduce Miss Angie Sanchez to continue with the presentation.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see everyone here tonight. And I know you probably have lots of questions. At the end, we'll take some questions. Mrs. Smythe went over some really important information, and we're also planning on posting our presentation to the website. So if you've been taking copious notes, that's great, but don't feel like you have to memorize every slide because we will have it posted to our website. So with everything that Mrs. Smythe went over, we also want to, all of those things that she talked about are preparing you not only for graduation, but we want you to also start thinking about college. And I know it sounds crazy. We're talking to 8th graders who are going into 9th grade and who's thinking about college just yet. But everything you do beginning in 9th grade is going to go on your high school transcript. And so we want you to be very aware and cognizant that your grades matter. And at the end of 4 years, you could prepare yourself for a scholarship like the Millennium Scholarship. So the Millennium Scholarship is for Nevada high school students. You can become eligible for this scholarship by meeting these 3 requirements. So you must have been a resident of Nevada for at least 2 years of high school. You must complete high school with at least a 3.25 GPA, calculated using all of the high school credit granting courses that you take at M+. The GPA that you earn can be weighted or unweighted, or you can also have a qualifying ACT score. So the requirement for the SAT, if you take that test, is a 1070. If you take the ACT, the requirement is a 21. And then we list here the high school courses that you must take to qualify for the Millennium Scholarship. So this is an automatic scholarship as long as you meet these requirements. As counselors, in the summer after you graduate from high school, we submit the names of the students that qualify for the scholarship, and that money will automatically be sent to a school in the state of Nevada. So again, the money for the Millennium Scholarship can only be used in the state of Nevada. So for any of Nevada state schools. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, college admissions requirements. So a sound college preparatory curriculum includes 4 years of English, 4 credits of math to include Algebra 1 and higher, 3 to 4 credits of science, 3 or more credits of social science, mean social studies, 2 to 4 credits of the same foreign language, and 1 credit of fine arts. So you'll notice that these requirements, we went over at the very beginning, the Nevada state standard graduation requirements. We want to go above and beyond that because that's what's preparing you for college. So we're not just meeting bare minimum requirements, we want to prepare you for college and beyond. Now, students ask us all the time, what does this college require? What does that call? I want to go to Stanford. I want to go to UNLV. I want to go to UNR. What do they require? So as counselors, Mrs. Smythe and I were talking about this earlier. If you Google how many colleges and universities are in the United States, there are over 7,000. So you can imagine we probably don't have all of those entrance requirements memorized. So what we suggest is that students go online, you Google the school you want to go to. There's always an email for the admissions office that you can contact, and they love sending you information or reaching out to you with information. And then we can help you from there. So once you get the basic information from whatever school you want to go to, once you do your research, we can sit down and have a conversation and see which classes at AMPUS are going to fulfill those requirements to get you started on whatever school you want to go to in the future. Next slide, please. So when you're applying for colleges, there are several things that they're looking for. They're, of course, looking for your grade point average and where you rank in your class. So class rank, for example, if I'm not mistaken, I believe we have 78 or 79 seniors this year, give or take. So your rank is where you fall into those students in terms of your GPA. So if you have the highest GPA in the class, you're going to be ranked #1. If you have the lowest GPA in the class, you're going to be ranked number 78 or 79 for this year, just for an example. So that is class rank, and that's one of the things that a college is looking for. Also, the level of courses that you take. Are you taking the most challenging courses that you can that are offered at your school? So if AP or dual credit are the highest level courses that you can take at AMPUS, colleges and universities are going to see, did you push yourself? Did you take 1 AP class? Did you take 4 AP classes? So that's also something that they're looking at. Obviously, test scores, how you score on the ACT and or the SAT. Some students score better on one versus the other. So there are some students that choose to take both just to see how they compare on the 2 exams. And then involvement in school activities. That's also very important because they want to see that students can not only handle a rigorous academic course load, but also are they involved in their community? Are they a well-rounded student? Do they participate in clubs or sports? What are they doing for their school community and their community outside of school? Next slide, please. Okay, NCAA, these are these are basically the requirements for students who are athletes while in school and want to be eligible to play sports while they're in college. And these are requirements that we can sit down also individually and meet with students. If you're an athlete and you want to play sports in college, we can go over these requirements in a little more depth. But for starters, to be eligible for NCAA, you have to graduate from high school, obviously. A minimum core, they have a minimum core grade point average that you have to meet. There are also minimum ACT and SAT test scores. The completion of 16 approved core courses, and the completion of 10 of these required 16 core courses before the beginning of the end of your junior year, so the 7th semester. 7 of these 10 courses must be in English, math, or science. So we listed the website there for you if you want to get more information about NCAA. We have an excellent athletic director that we can also sit down and consult with, but these are just some of the requirements that you'll need if you want to play sports in college. Next slide, please. Okay, so here's the part you've been waiting for, I'm sure. Class schedules by grade. So these are the schedules for the different grade levels. So in 9th grade, we have Ingenium, which is a study skills, I'm sorry. So students are learning study skills, organizational skills, how to keep organized while you're in high school. You'll also be taking either English 9 or English 9 honors. Math, depending on your ability in math at that point. Biology or biology honors. Human geography, PE, Latin, and an elective. Now we go to 10th grade. And we also have our Ingenium class here. Now we're focusing more at this point on test prep skills because we have the PSAT, which students take in 10th grade as a practice, and then in 11th grade is when it counts for them. And then we're also practicing for the ACT. So we're focusing more on test prep skills in the 10th grade. English 10 or English 10 honors. Math, also depending on your ability. Geoscience or chemistry honors. World history. Health and an enrichment course. And Latin 3 honors or an elective. Next slide, please. Okay, 11th grade. As you can see, our Ingenium classes change as the years go on. So postgraduate pursuits, basically meaning preparing for college. So in 11th grade is when we take all the tests, the PSAT, the ACT. A lot of students start looking at what colleges they want to go to. So this is a class to kind of help students focus on what they're going to be doing post-graduation. Working, going to school, whatever that might look like. You want to get a resume together, you want to do different things. So this class will help prepare for that. English 11 or 11 honors, math again depending on ability, chemistry or physics honors, US history, PE elective or enrichment, maybe AP Latin or an elective, and then as you can see here, there's another option for an elective. Okay, so senior year, again, we're looking at life skills, again, preparing for life after high school, English 12 or 12 honors, math depending on ability, physics, there's several options for science, physics, AP science, or an elective science, US government and economics. And then as a senior, you can see that we have some other options. So you can, if there's a course that you didn't do so well in 9th, 10th, and 11th grade, you might want to take a course to make up that credit, or have an elective, or have an early out. So as a senior, you have a little more flexibility in your schedule because you've hopefully at this point, you've worked very hard, you've passed all of your classes, and now you have some open spaces there for you to be able to maybe leave school early and you're working now, or you're volunteering in the community, or you're doing other things to get yourself ready for after high school. So you have some more options there by senior year. Next slide, please. Okay, our course catalog. This is very exciting. I'm so excited for everyone to see the course catalog. There will be an electronic copy of our course catalog posted on the AmPlus Academy website to be determined. I don't have an exact date for you tonight, but hopefully soon we'll have that posted to our website. We strongly encourage all parents and students to please read the core classes and the elective options and choose very carefully. So core classes are, this may be on the next slide. I'm sorry, I might be getting ahead of myself. Oh, here we go. Okay, so before you pick your electives, you'll want to make sure you review the requirements and the descriptions in the course catalog. And not just electives, you want to be well informed on all the classes that you'll be taking next year, that your student is taking next year. Discuss the options with your parents. You want to make sure that when you're choosing electives, you're aware of course fees, you're aware of how much time that elective is going to take, and also the use of technology. This year, many of our teachers have found very creative ways for their students to submit assignments for their elective classes, like Flipgrid, or other ways to submit videos, or tools that have been very helpful. And so you want to make sure that you're comfortable using that technology before you choose that elective, because even though next year we may be 100% in person going to school, that technology may still be a tool that teachers choose to use. So we want to make sure that students are comfortable with that. So please take the extra time to review the descriptions, review the requirements, and be aware of what you're committing to before we start the school year. Okay, so this is a big question. Every year, at the beginning, the middle, and the end, everybody wants a schedule change, right? Everybody likes to change their mind, which we love. We love that you guys are constantly evolving and changing, but we also have to build a master schedule based on what you guys decide at the end of the school year. So here's our dilemma. If we give everybody options and everybody chooses their classes and their electives and it's great and everybody's excited, and then we start the school year and over the summer something happened and nobody wants to take what they've chosen at the end of the year, at that point we've built a whole schedule around what everybody has selected. And so that makes it difficult for us to move everyone around, or all of a sudden no one wants to take art, but they all want to be in band. And so now we have an empty art class and a full band class. So that's just an example. So our general policy is that unless you are missing a class that you need to fulfill a graduation requirement, or you went to summer school and you took a class that you have in your schedule, we won't be making a schedule change. So that goes back to the previous slide where I said, please review the electives carefully, the descriptions, and make sure that you're sure about what you want to take in terms of electives and classes for the next year. I'm a big proponent of educate yourself. So if there's an elective class you're not really sure about, you don't really know what it's about, you want to get more information, reach out to your counselor and we can connect you with that teacher to get you more information before you make that commitment if you're not sure. Okay, questions. I see lots of questions in the chat. I know Mrs. Barlow has been answering some of the questions that parents have. Are there any questions that we can answer as counselors that weren't answered in the chat already? Mrs. Garner, Mrs. Barlow, do you want to let us know?
I just want to thank everybody for participating in the chat, the questions that were asked. I'm sure things will come more to everyone's mind as they start thinking through things or talking with friends or in the community. So we just want to reiterate that our counselors are available to help at all times. Julie, thank you for your question. Dual credits do not necessarily transfer to schools that are out of state when we are looking at dual credit classes. With fidelity. So that's a little bit of something that you have to research if your kids are looking at going to schools out of state. Sometimes, for example, a History 101 or 102 class might transfer to another university as an elective credit, but they basically get their own college transcript, and those dual credit classes are pretty much guaranteed at any in-state school. Just interesting facts, the past 3 years, looking at the data, we've got about an 85% in-state college attendance rate. So we know that this is a really great opportunity for our students because a lot of them are opting to stay here in Nevada to go to school, whether it be UNLV or CSN or Nevada State College. There's just a lot of different opportunities for them to go across. AP credits transfer kind of the same way, depending on the school. Sometimes if you get a 4, you'll get certain amounts of credits. Sometimes if you get a 3, you'll get credit. If you'll get 5, you might get credit for several classes. So back to what the counselor said originally, it's really helpful if you have a couple ideas of where you're headed or where you'd like to maybe investigate to go, because a lot of those factors start to play out a couple years into high school. And so it's never too early to start thinking about that, to start looking into those types of things. The question about what's the benefit of an advanced diploma? There's some clout associated with it when you're looking at postgraduate pursuits. The advanced classes or the additional opportunities for learning really help to prepare them for life beyond high school. So as they start to kind of set along that track, it doesn't mean that they won't be successful if they don't get an advanced diploma, but we really feel with the courses that we would suggest our students take at AMPLIS that they would be able to fulfill the advanced diploma requirements fairly easily. Julie.
So the advanced diploma and the standard diploma have been around for a while. The college and career ready diploma is pretty new as of, I believe, 2018. Is that correct, Mrs. Smythe?
Yes, that is correct.
2018.
And for some reason, I just want to mention, I'm not seeing the questions. So if there's any questions you'd like me to answer, just read them to me.
Okay, if you click on the chat button right there, Ms. Smythe, at the very bottom, it might pop up a separate window. But the question is, are there different diplomas now? Maybe I'm old, but I feel like I had only one option, a diploma.
Yes, now there are the 3 diploma options for our students following the state of Nevada. Pardon me, please.
Our recommended course load here at AMPLIS with the different options that kids can have that will kind of cater to their specific needs. Like I said, prepare them to be ready for that advanced diploma. So if they do things the way that we would like them to do them, not only do they get the Ingenium curriculum, which is our own name for character development, but they also will be prepared to get the advanced diploma. And Josh is asking, is there no longer an honors diploma? The honors diploma is the advanced diploma. So it's just, we just kind of put some of those things in line together without giving it a different name. It's called the advanced diploma.
Another advantage of the advanced diploma is that by meeting the advanced diploma requirements, you're meeting a big part of the college and career ready diploma minus the test score. You're also meeting Millennium Scholarship requirements if you meet the advanced diploma requirements. So,
and the majority of the college admission requirements too.
So yes, there are some advantages to the advanced diploma.
Great questions. We're here for you. Anything else? Any other questions?
So if you do have more questions, please don't hesitate to email. I know our emails were posted at the very beginning very briefly, but again, this will be posted to our website. Mrs. Smythe's email, my email are also on the website. Oh, there we go. We're going backwards. We're going backwards. There we go.
I also want to, can I just address, the reason we no longer have our email addresses on our website is because we all got phished shortly after we put them all on there. And so we kept getting asked for donations that were going to be sent to different countries and continents. So there is an option if you're like, I don't know their email addresses, I don't know where to find them. There is an option if you just click on our website to the contact us, that it will come through. And yes, he wanted to be very wealthy. It will come through to us and then we can route it to the counselor. So just say, I'm just trying to get in touch with the counselor about this question, and they'll go ahead and send that to the right person. So great question. The classes for next year, pre-registration is slated to begin, that process begins after midwinter break. So felt like this was a really important conversation to start. We start with our oldest kids. So the juniors will be first up, and that's when they'll start meeting again with their counselors to get prepared for that. We'll make sure that everybody has had a chance to look through the course catalog though before they do that, and then teachers at the same time simultaneously will be making recommendations for certain classes as far as what would be a good class for them to move into going into their freshman year. So it's super exciting. High school is so fun.
Well, and I just want to say also, we're very unique as a school in that you have your middle school counselor and your high school counselor in the same building. Typically, high school counselors will travel to a middle school to give, all this information. And so you have us all in one building, which I think is great. You have easy access for questions and whatever you're nervous about going into the 9th grade. So I feel like that's a huge advantage when you're in a K through 12 school, is that everybody's in one building and you have access to everyone. So please reach out to us.
I'll even take it a step further, Ms. Sanchez, and say we're especially lucky because we have the counselors that we have, and we have the student support department that we have. So I'll even say, I'll
thank you.
I'll say that is really great, but it's even better for both of you. So thank you. And our parents too. Thank you everyone for being here, and for our students for coming, spending this time so that you can get a jump start. And we agree, Erin, there's no other place but AMPLIS. That's where we want everybody to stay. So if you have other questions, we know that there's a lot of choices, like I said at the beginning, but we're really excited about what the future looks like for our high school kids. And we'd like to keep our AMPLIS family together. So please let us know what else we can do. And I think with that, Ms. Garner, we're gonna go ahead and have you stop the recording.
Thank you.
And we
Thank
hope
you to our parents and students for attending.
Thank you. Thanks everyone.